When Scotty Cameron releases a putter, it certainly turns some heads in the golf industry, and today I have in my hands the new release of Scotty Cameron's studio style putters. There is plenty of technology packed into this lineup, so let's take a closer look. First impressions on any golf product is extremely important, and that always starts in my mind with the head cover. Scotty Cameron have been known throughout the years to create some of the nicest looking head covers in the game, and this year is no exception. We're going for absolute quality when it comes to the looks and feels of their head cover, but ultimately the head cover's not holding us some putts. It's the putter itself, and in my hands I've got the Newport 2, the flagship putter that probably became most famous when Tiger Woods won the Masters Championship in 1997, and he really brought this putter to life. And I've got to say, I was one of those players that was certainly inspired by his win in 1997 and made me look at putting a Newport 2 in my golf bag. And to be honest with you, I haven't looked anywhere else since. So I'm somebody that's really excited to see the new Newport 2 when it's now just been released. And first impressions, beautiful. Absolutely what I'm looking to see. A nice thin top line. We've got a new insert, which we'll get into that detail in just a moment. But all in all, first impressions, really impressed. But it's not just about the Newport 2 when it comes to Scotty Cameron. No, we've got 12 offerings available with the new lineup, all offering us something just slightly different that can only help with our games. We've got the Newport, we've got the Newport Plus, we've got the Newport 2, the Newport 2 Plus, we've got the Newport 2.5 Plus, the Squareback 2, the Squareback 2 Long Design, the Fastback Long Design, Fastback 1.5, and the new Catalina. So that might sound like a large offering by Scotty Cameron and maybe slightly confusing. However, I think there's a way in which you can break these putters down fractionally. If you're somebody that's looking for maybe a little bit more MOI, something with a little bit more stability, then you might want to look at something maybe a little bit bigger in its profile, something like the Squareback or even the Fastback. However, if you're more of a traditionalist and you're not necessarily focused too much on stability, then maybe looking at something slightly smaller that's going to be suiting your eye just a little bit nicer is maybe going to look at something like the Newport or the Newport 2. And then when we look at the actual putting stroke itself, Scotty Cameron offering a number of different necks available. Now these necks are going to allow us to have that putter to hang a little bit differently, and that's going to work nicely with your stroke. If you're somebody that tends to work that putter a little bit more in to square to in, then maybe a putter with a little bit more toe flow, a little bit more toe hang is going to work really quite nicely for you. However, if you're somebody that has a more square back and square through, then maybe more of a face balance, less toe flow putter is going to suit your game. Which is why it's so important to be fit for your putter, not only from a profile point of view, but also for your putting stroke as well. Now, I said at the beginning of this video of how impressed I was with my first looks of this particular putter. However, from the back of the putter, this Newport 2 Plus looks actually very similar to previous generations. However, when you turn the putter around and look at the face of it, you're seeing now a new insert, a studio carbon steel insert. And the feedback that Scotty's had from tour players around the world and Scotty Cameron enthusiasts is that this particular insert gives them the softest feel and softest sound with every strike. Now, in previous generations of Scotty Cameron putters, you may have seen some milling on the face, and this is going to change from generation to generation, being slightly deeper or slightly finer in that milling. And the idea of the milling is to control the acoustics, to control the feel off the face itself. And ultimately, Scotty is getting feedback from his tour players to see exactly what they're looking for from the feel and sound off the face. And with this new lineup, well, we've got a slightly different technology. We've got chain link face milling, and it looks really quite different, but it is the link between sound and feel. And Scotty Cameron has done months of research, not only in the studio, but out on tour as well. And the feedback that players are looking for from the face of this putter is something that's maybe just slightly softer than previous generations. However, Scotty looking for a putter also that's going to give us that distance control, certainly on mid to short putts. Now, one other feature that I must mention when it comes to this lineup of putter is in the standard options of 33, 34 and 35 inches, we've got this new full contact slim grip. Now, this is our paddle design. It's got that sort of chain link design on the back there, which really helps you put your hands into the right position. Scotty's saying that we're able to weigh this grip in perfectly with the head to complement each putting stroke. However, in the long design, we've got a slightly different material being used, a slightly softer material, which is going to be lighter, again, to complement the weight of this style of putter. So there's the lineup of the new studio style putters by Scotty Cameron. We've got plenty of offerings available. I see so many players out there that could save lots of shots around the golf course with just being fit into the correct putter, whether it's the style of head, whether it's the style of neck, the length or the weight of that particular putter. And that's why it's so important to go and get fitted for your putter. So book yourself in with your Foremost professional team and see which of these putters is going to work best for your game this season.